Our story begins with the main character confessing his feelings to his classmate. Yeah, I like you. Ever since the day I first saw you, we've gotten pretty close. I really like you. Rain looks surprised. I'm sorry, this must be awkward. It's hard when someone you don't like confesses to you. Huh? What do you mean you don't like me? It's not like that, she says. You're kind, funny, and nice to talk to. Why wouldn't I like you? But, you know. The scene shifts, and we see Seo's friend waiting for him. Hey, how'd it go? Probably not the right time to ask that. So, you're hiding something, aren't you? She said she wants to focus on her studies. That girl should have at least come up with a better excuse. She's not even that good at schoolwork. But why? Why does it always have to be me? As Seo thinks this, a ball suddenly flies toward him. He catches it without even looking. His friend is stunned. Dude, look at your face right now. Seo replies, Why? Is it because of how I look? His friend explains, He's good at sports, takes care of his diet. Honestly, if anyone did half of what this guy does, they'd never gain weight. Have you ever gone to a hospital for that? Yeah, a lot of times. The doctor said if I still can't lose weight no matter what I do, it's 99.99% because of genetics. We then learned about Seo's parents, his mom, a beautiful woman, and his dad, a former athlete who used to be incredibly strong, so strong his power was overwhelming. Seo thinks to himself, Forget about being fat. Mom said I've got the kind of body that gains weight just by breathing. It really pisses me off. No matter what diet I try, it never works. I've been doing this useless struggle for years. Maybe I should just eat what I want. Then we see Seo push away his fries and go back to eating his diet meal. The guy's got discipline. You have to admit that. Later that evening, Seo's phone shows he's run 4 kilometers. He's jogging, faster than his usual pace, thinking, I'll never give up. He's remembering his classmate as he runs. By the time we see his phone again, it shows 15.4 kilometers. Where do guys get this kind of motivation after a heartbreak? He says, I think I went a bit too far this time. I don't even recognize this place. He opens his map to check where he is. Then suddenly, a strange voice echoes. And this is where the real story begins. You're fast on your feet, like 10,000 boars running wild, but I can still smell your blood. An old man jumps down in front of Seo. Whoa! He was at least 5 or 6 meters up, Seo exclaims. Don't be scared. I'm not here to harm you. The name's Grandpa Bowman. And honestly, that name alone sounds like he kidnaps kids. He continues, I serve as the judge. I'm responsible for overseeing all monsters on the peninsula. Seo just stands there, confused. You have no idea what's going on, do you? Fine then, no point wasting time. Come with me. The old man grabs Seo and takes him along. Yeah, basically just kidnaps him. When he regains his senses, he's in a strange place. What is this? Welcome, says the old man, to the world of monsters. Seo looks around completely bewildered. Look to your left and right. See them with your own eyes. Everyone gathered here belongs to this world. Poor Seo's practically losing it, and the old man keeps talking. Once humans feared us. We ruled over them like gods. But now we're nothing more than myths and superstitions. Every 666 years a great festival is held to choose the king of monsters. From every monster family across the world, one young talented candidate is chosen. The last king ruled 666 years ago, and now the time has come again. Seo freaks out. Okay, I get it, but why am I here? The old man replies, "Because, boy, you are the sole heir of the goblin bloodline. You carry both human and monster blood. You're the fourth, maybe fifth generation goblin, though a bit mixed." "Wait, listen, there must be some mistake." Before he can finish, someone lunges at him. "To see whether you're worthless or not, you'll take a test." "A test? You trying to kill me?" The monster growls, "So this is real, huh, Grandpa? If you defeat him, you can eat him." "Perfect. I won't waste this chance. It's been 666 years since I last tasted human flesh." Seo's reaction is priceless. He barely gets time to breathe before the goblin punches him hard, kicking him away. "If you've truly inherited goblin blood, you still don't have the right to join the festival unless you prove your strength. Show your worth if you want to live." Seo is badly injured now. The goblin lifts him again and slams him down. "You're tougher than you look. I thought you were just a piece of meat. Guess I was wrong. Strong meat tastes better." The monster keeps pounding him into the ground. We're told in ancient times the power of goblins was said to be infinite. The monster is stunned because suddenly Seo transforms. Our main character rises, his body now muscular, overflowing with power. He grabs the goblin with one hand and lifts him into the air. It's said that for goblins, their true strength and their weapon are one and the same. It's their instinct, their battle joy. Seo smashes the goblin into the ground. Seo's species begins to change. He's now half goblin. Man, Seo looks almost bug-like now. His classmate is definitely going to regret rejecting him. The scene suddenly shifts back to the human world, where Seo and his friend are talking. So what happened after that? After that, it ended. Seriously, it was a terrible dream. Listening to you, it actually sounds kind of funny. There was nothing funny about it. I kept getting beaten up the whole time. I only managed to throw one punch. It's weird that you're getting beaten up in your own dream. Most people dream about things they're good at. You said you've never learned wrestling, but you've boxed for fitness. That's strange. Yeah, but it felt so real. Like I already knew what I was doing. It felt like if I tried, I could actually do it. You're overthinking it, dude. I've been saying the same thing to myself. Maybe I'm just too stressed lately. Am I really that obsessed with losing weight? Even if it was just a dream, it didn't make any sense. My body suddenly became muscular. Yeah. That's when we realized what Seo thought was a dream actually happened. "Hey, you awake now? I thought you'd wake up in jail since you fell asleep standing." This isn't a dream. If it's not, then these monsters, all of this is real. And this body too? What about my home? It's real, so what are you going to do now? Just then, a new character appears, a girl, and says, "To be honest, I'm a little disappointed. This is my first time seeing a half-human, but after looking at you, you're just pathetic. Are you sure you really have goblin blood? You saw that fight earlier, right? An opponent's an opponent, but that thing wasn't even on a normal monster's level. It didn't use any real magic, just raw strength, and still struggled. And you were actually happy about winning? Listen, the test's over, right? So can I go home now?" "Yeah, that's right. You've proven yourself. I already made my decision while you were half asleep. So let me repeat it once more." Around them, other monsters begin whispering. "I can't believe it. He actually beat Kangu. Was he hiding his power? Doesn't seem like it. It looks like his goblin blood finally awakened. It's been ages since I've seen a real goblin transformation." Grandpa Bowman steps forward and announces, "As the judge of the peninsula's monsters, I declare Seo not as a human, but as a monster. If no one objects, then disperse and spread the word about what happened here." In the shadows, an unknown figure mutters, "Anyone who stands before a goblin will face countless trials. This festival's going to be interesting." Grandpa continues, From now on, your name will be registered among the monsters. No one can harm or capture you unless they have a valid reason. Seo replies, "That's nice and all, but I really should be getting home." Hearing this, the girl clenches her fists, furious. "Are you pretending to be stupid, or are you actually this dumb? Didn't you hear? You're a monster now. Until you can completely hide your identity, you can't return to the human world. Any monster under 500 years old is forbidden to go there." Seo says, "I'm not someone who causes trouble. I've never hurt anyone. I've always lived peacefully." Grandpa interrupts, "If you don't understand, then there's only one way left. I'll kill him." He means the defeated goblin Seo fought earlier. "That's right. Now you understand. Whether you see yourself as human or not, your body is already that of a monster. Among all species, the goblin line is considered the strongest. Even as a newly awakened half-blood, your power already surpasses that of dozens of ordinary humans." Seo sighs. "I get it, but do I really have to wait 500 years to go back?" "Nonsense," says Grandpa. "You only have to wait half a year. Didn't I mention the King of Monsters is chosen every 666 years? That 500-year rule was made by the current king." Grandpa explains further. 666 years ago, monsters were free to roam the human world. Humans could only run and tremble in fear at night. They worshipped us like gods. But when the last festival ended, the new king didn't like that. For his own reasons, he created a rule, written in the blood of the monsters he killed, that forbids harming humans. Because of that rule, humans stopped fearing us. They forgot us, turned us into myths. But that won't last much longer. In 6 months, the reign of the current king will end. When the sun sets that day, his rule will vanish, and the law will be rewritten. That night, when darkness falls over the human world, that will be the night of monsters. Every monster will walk the earth again, and humans will remember fear." Grandpa looks at Seo. "So, you can either wait 6 months to return or grow stronger and earn your way back sooner. The choice is yours." Seo asks, "Then how do I learn to control my power? And even if I do, how strong would I have to be called the strongest among monsters?" Grandpa studies his expression. "Ha, for a moment there you looked like you were really thinking about something. What's on your mind?" Seo is thinking of his family and friends. If monsters appear in the human world, what will happen to them? For a 17-year-old, planning ahead might be impossible, but one thing is clear. The world will become hell. At least I have to protect the people who matter to me. Grandpa nods. "Well, that's not important right now. The goblin blood running through your veins is incredibly powerful. Still, it's not yet pure. If you can manage to use even half your true strength, no monster would dare harm your loved ones. But there's a lot of work ahead. And who knows, if you manage to win the festival and become the next king of monsters, you could rewrite the rules yourself." Before Seo can respond, the girl cuts in. "Stop saying impossible things. This guy survived the festival? That's a joke." Grandpa chuckles. "Oh, right. I haven't introduced you to. This is Seol-Hwa. Like you, she'll also be participating in the festival." "Why are you telling him my name? It's not like I plan on seeing him again. I didn't come here to introduce myself, especially not to a human." Grandpa says, "You mentioned wanting to take the qualification test to return to the human realm, but if you keep talking about going back, this girl might actually get mad." Then he laughs lightly. "Well, looks like she's just like you. She also wants to go to the human realm, but I keep delaying her because I have other things to do. Still, she keeps insisting that I let her take the test." So here we find out that the MC must participate in a festival if he wants to become the next king of monsters. We also learn that in 6 months, monsters will enter the human realm. Then Silwa says, "Whatever, why should I even take this test? Whether it's transformation magic or monster force, there are still countless monsters weaker than me who have been sitting quietly for the past 500 years. Grandpa replies, "I know that. That's why judging your qualification is difficult. Living among humans unnoticed isn't just about having basic skills. It requires patience and self-control, too." Seolwa says to Grandpa, "I understand what you're trying to say, but I hope you're not just making excuses to avoid facing me." Grandpa responds, "Nonsense. I called you both here for a reason. The festival is near, and the old law will end in 6 months. When I get busy, why would you want to stay out of this matter? Anyway, you won't get a better chance than this. There's no bigger challenge than blending in with humans. As you've seen, Seo is one of them, a human. There couldn't be a better way to judge your qualifications." Silwa says, "Wait, what do you mean?" Grandpa explains, "I'm giving you until the end of the month. You'll teach him the basics of being a monster and also transformation magic. If I see even a little progress by the end of the month, I'll personally qualify both of you as venture candidates for the human army." Silwa snaps back, "Don't talk nonsense. You're saying I should teach him and make him better in just a month? You could have just said outright that you weren't going to give me this chance." Grandpa calmly says, "If that's how you feel, then you can wait 6 months. There's nothing wrong with that either. It won't make much difference. Whether you give up or help him, personally, I believe it's possible." Saying this, Grandpa walks away. Then Sialwa turns to Seo and says, "I know this is a stupid question, but I'll ask anyway. Do you even know what monster force is?" Seo replies, "No, I don't." Sialwa sighs. "Well then, I guess I have no choice." Just then, the monster Seo defeated earlier reappears. Sialwa looks at Seo and says, "Why do you look so tense?" From behind her, the monster growls, "Oh, little fox, where's that old man? The fight isn't over yet." Sialwa says coldly, "You're really clingy. Because of filthy creatures like you, our kind gets disrespected among humans." Hearing this, the monster roars and attacks Sialwa. Then the narration explains, there's no real security between the human realms, and that's where monsters distinguish between their own kind and outsiders. Among monsters, differences are based on inequality. Each species possesses unique skills, potential, and abilities. But now, pure-blooded goblins have disappeared, making it hard to decide which bloodline will become the highest class in the Orion Peninsula. Still, if you ask most monsters, they'd give the same answer. Those savage beasts who hide their 9 years are considered close to the highest class in the Korean Peninsula. And one of them is our Sialwa, the one who's now saying, "Do what you were doing, don't stop." At the start of the next scene, we see Seo witnessing extraordinary sights right before his eyes, yet he doesn't scream, he just freezes in shock, unable to move or react. The situation he's facing is real, and he has no choice but to accept it. Then Sialwa says, "You saw that? That's magic. It's an ability that consumes the energy of the forces to perform. There are 2 types of magic, unique magic and accurate magic. I'm sure you already know what unique magic is. For example, the Goblin CBN. It's a race-specific update, something tied to your bloodline. You don't need to learn it. It will come naturally, like breathing, once you get used to it. But accurate magic is different. Any monster can use it, as long as they learn and train for it. See that guy trapped over there? He ignored his training because of his size and strength, and now he's humiliated by a simple binding spell. He's one of those far beneath me. Anyway, since we've gotten this far, I'll teach you. But I'll say this up front. I don't like unending processes. If your results don't prove worth my time, you'll die by my hands. If you're not ready, you can give up right now. It will be hard for someone who was human just a short while ago. You could die if you disappoint me. Seo looks at her seriously and says, "Even then, if you're willing to teach me, I'll give it my best shot. I'll either die trying or learn what I need to. No matter what happens, I have to learn. I'm not in a place where I can afford to worry about the future." Hearing that, Sialwa says, "Fine, but I think you'll fail. Still, that's better than not trying at all. First, we should eat." Seo asks, "Eat?" Sialwa explains, "Like I said before, magic consumes forces to perform. In this world, every monster's power is connected to that energy. Right now, you barely have any left. Normally, monsters absorb it naturally, by breathing the air, eating food, or drinking water here. But you just arrived in this world. Your normal human diet won't do anything. The only power you have is what you were born with. You're hungry, aren't you? After all that hard work, I'm sure you are." Seo shakes his head and says, "No, not really." But suddenly his head starts spinning, and the veins in his hands begin to glow. Sialwa says, "I told you, your force reserves are nearly empty. You probably have only a trace left. That pig from before drained almost all of it. This is a typical force depletion. But don't worry, the solution is simple." She points to the monster nearby. "See that monster? Among us, there's a rule. If the judge declares a winner, the loser's life and death are in the victor's hands. By consuming the defeated monster, you absorb its force. It's the simplest and most effective way to recover. Given its size, it should be a good meal for you. Afterward, your hunger will fade." Seo begins walking forward, clutching his sticks, not out of reason, but instinct. For the first time in his life, he feels a demonic hunger boiling inside him. That desire only grows with the whispers of the tailed fox, Sialwa's words echoing in his mind. There's only one thought running through his head, the instinct to hunt. But what Sialwa didn't consider was that goblins are naturally greedy. They always go after prey that's more nutritious and more delicious. And at that moment, Seo attacks Sialwa herself. Sialwa says calmly, "Well, are you seeing this now?" She immediately casts chain magic and restrains Seo. "Seriously, no matter how hungry you are, you shouldn't be this arrogant. You, a half-monster, thought you could eat me? Did I really look like such an easy target to you?" Seo struggles as Sialwa's chains tighten around him. She says, "I'll have to fix your bad manners myself." But then Seo breaks her chain magic apart. Sialwa is shocked. Even if it was just one, he broke it with pure strength. Seo attacks again, but she dodges effortlessly. She says, "Even if you're only half, a goblin is still a goblin. So, this is what you wanted to show me, huh?" "All right, fine," Sialwa says. "I'll admit it." She lightly cuts her finger as Seo rushes towards her, then summons the blessed Great Diamond King's arm. Seo crashes straight into it. The massive hand comes down, about to crush him in its palm. The force is tremendous. It even shatters the chains that had bound the monster earlier. Walls and ground crack apart from the impact. Xiaowa looks down and says, "Still alive, huh? Well, even if he's dead, it doesn't matter. When he attacked me, that was his choice. I wasn't expecting much from him anyway." But then she freezes in shock. Seo has awakened. We're told that among the most powerful goblins, only a select few are chosen for their unique magic. Even with depleted force, Seo unleashes overwhelming power, manifesting the symbol of goblin kind itself. Xiaowa grows nervous and mutters, "Even as a half-goblin, you're showing me quite the sight." Here we see the Goblin Club's unique magic for the first time. A second later, the narration provides a description of Xiaowa, an outstanding monster, a genius who attained the 9 tails before even reaching 100 years of age, a rare talent born into the diamond fox family of the Korean peninsula after thousands of years. That's why she can sense just how dangerous the Goblin Club is, the weapon she's now facing for the first time. In her mind, she thinks, if I only compare our monster forces, there's no reason I should lose. But what's this pressure? The aura coming from Seo's weapon is so intense that even Xiaowa feels nervous. Seo leaps toward her, launching a thunder strike, but Xiaowa dodges easily. She smirks. "Yes, that's the feeling I was expecting. The Club of Goblins." Xiaowa grabs Seo's weapon bare-handed, with the Demon Emperor's hand she had summoned, and says, "Then I guess I should show you what I've got too." The Demon Emperor's hand swings Seo through the air, slamming him into the ground. Xiaowa says, "That alone won't be enough. Judging from your endurance, I'll need to smash you 5 or 6 times before your brain starts working again." Then we see the Demon Emperor's hand moving again, but it's Seo, pulling it toward himself with full force. Xiaowa's eyes widen. "I can't believe this. Even if it's just one hand, is it really possible to fight against the great Demon Emperor?" Seo wrenches his weapon free from the demon's grasp. We're told that the Goblin Club is a tool that can freely change its form according to its user's will and purpose. Seo shifts its form instantly, and we learn why, in the past, when goblins were alive and thriving, monsters called the Goblin Club a weapon capable of becoming anything. Seo slams the Demon Emperor's hand into the ground with his transformed weapon. Xiaowa, thinking to herself, says, "The attack's shape and the weapon's head, they've both changed. It's hard to predict what's next. The club's power is stored within it. The cost efficiency and magical practicality are on a whole other level." Then Xiaowa summons the other Demon Emperor's hand as well. You can imagine, even a genius like her is having trouble against someone who just became a monster. In her mind, she thinks, before he builds up an ample amount of firepower, I should finish this. I can't give him the chance. Saying this, she attacks Seo with both of the Demon Emperor's hands, but Seo dodges every strike using his weapon. Damn, this guy's already overpowered. Even Xiaowa admits it. Even this doesn't faze him. Unbelievable. Even monsters over 100 or 200 years old wouldn't stand a chance against him. Now I see why goblins were so highly regarded. A half-blood who's just opened his eyes, and he's already at this level. But that's where it stops. No matter how efficient his weapon or magic, he's clearly reaching his limit. If this continues, his body will break apart before the fight ends. Seo is still giving the Demon Emperor's hand a good fight when Xiaowa decides to end it. She says, 3 days? No, 5 days. I have every reason to be proud, even if this is your first real battle, when your opponent uses this much power. Xiaowa then summons the upper half of the great Demon Emperor. It's clear she's realized just how powerful our MC really is. Now the Demon Emperor and Seo's weapon clash, and finally, Seo's energy is completely drained. Xiaowa wins the fight. Seo, lying on the ground, thinks to himself, there's nothing left. Did I hesitate too long? Seowa says, "Sorry, this is bad, but you'll die soon from magic depletion. You fell because of it, but that's your responsibility. You know why? Because you were stupid enough not to realize it until your body started breaking down. Looks like Grandpa's going to scold me for this." As she turns to leave, Seo weakly whispers, crying, "Mom." That word makes Seowa freeze. She kicks him lightly, pulls him close, and kisses him, healing his wounds in the process. Man, lucky guy. I should have been in his place. Seowa says, "That was 5 tiers of Magic Fox speed, something I made a while ago. If you don't return that investment someday, I swear I'll kill you." Seo regains consciousness. When he wakes up, he finds himself in a new place. Seowa walks in carrying tea, staring sharply at him. Seo apologizing to Seowa. "I'm sorry. I remember everything I did. I don't know how it was possible, but even though I was conscious, I couldn't control my body. Still, I'm really sorry. You were just trying to help me, and I ended up putting you in danger." Seowa doesn't react much. She just says, "Drink this." "Huh? What's this?" Seo asks. "Just drink it before it gets cold." "Okay, ma'am. Thanks for the drink. Is it like Oriental medicine or something?" As soon as Seo tastes it, he almost spits it out. But Seowa glares and says, "If you spit it out, I'll kill you." Seo coughs. "What's this even made of?" Seowa replies, "Who knows? Knowing won't help you. Just finish it. I won't bother you anymore. And listen carefully. You forgot something important. That joint-mouthed goblin ran away during our fight, but its ownership still belongs to you. It's probably hiding somewhere for the next 100 years because it knows if it's found, it's dead. It was the perfect match for someone like you." Seo nearly spits again, and Seowa says nothing. Seo asks, "Isn't there another method?" Seowa replies, "Another method? Look at yourself. Do you still think you're human? If you can't hurt anyone to grow stronger, then—" Seo interrupts, "It's not like that. I haven't fully accepted that I'm killing or eating monsters. And it's true, I don't want to. But honestly, it doesn't matter who they are. To me, they're all dangerous monsters who hurt people. If I don't act properly, in a few months, everyone I know will face a terrible end. If I have to kill, I'll kill. If I have to eat, I'll eat. I already told you I'll do my best. I didn't ask for another method because I'm unwilling to eat monsters. I just wanted to know if there's another chance, something else I could try." Seowa sighs. "I've already told you the most effective way to increase your monster force is by consuming other monsters. But that's only possible when both sides agree to a duel. Without that rule, the weaker ones would constantly be hunted and eaten, leaving none to survive. Anyway, it won't be easy for you now. Even if you're a half-blood, countless monsters saw you. They know you're a goblin. Rumors must have already spread. Those you could easily hunt won't fight you now, and the ones who will be the strong ones. They'll be the kind of monsters you can't handle at your current level," Seowa says calmly. "But if you lose, peasant, you should boil yourself and eat chicken instead." "No." She suddenly stands and with a sweet smile adds, "Come outside with me. I have a present for you." Whoa, this is the first time I've seen her smile like that. Both of them step outside, where Seo sees his present, a monster. She always says, "What do you think? Pretty decent, right?" Seo asks, "Wait, isn't that a monster?" Showa explains, "It is, and it isn't. Technically, it's lost its right to be called a monster. There are many reasons for it, but some monsters lose their senses. They're consumed by instinct. You're like them in a way, except you were lucky. They do things they can't control anymore. We call them beasts, not monsters. They've been stripped of their right to be monsters. In the Korean peninsula, we call such beings schlocks. Why are you staring like that? I told you these are beasts that have lost their senses." Suddenly, the beast charges at Seo, but he easily dodges. Xiaowa, observing carefully, thinks to herself, I thought he'd freeze or panic and get beaten, but he's using his body better than I expected. Still, he should be running while he can. His opponent originally belonged to the fire dog family and made quite a name for himself. He was found guilty during the festival for forcibly kidnapping and eating other monsters. He surpassed his limits, couldn't control his monster force, and went insane. The beast slashes at Seo with its claws, but Seo dodges again. It attacks once more, this time grazing close to Seo's cheek, but Seo narrowly avoids it. Watching this, Xiaowal mutters, "As expected, he's not consciously controlling the club. Well, I didn't expect him to win anyway. Even if that thing's lost its mind, its physical ability is still on another level. He can't match it in grappling or throwing. Even though his instincts are awakening, it's too early. He only acts like that when he's near death." Seo then shifts into a boxing stance, which shocks Xiaowa. He punches the beast, and at that moment, we get a flashback. In the flashback, Seo's coach is saying, "Wow, your athleticism is better than I thought. Honestly, when you said your goal was just weight loss, I didn't expect this. Ever thought about learning boxing seriously?" Seo laughs. "Maybe when I lose some weight first." The coach replies, "Hey punk, if you train consistently, the weight'll come off naturally. Let's try it for 6 months. If you're up for it, this guy here will handle your diet and training. With your skills, you could even aim for competitions, and the weight will drop on its own." Back to the present, Seo thinks, "Would have been nice if that boxing actually worked for weight loss." Then the scene cuts back to the fight. Seo is landing blow after blow on the beast. Seo never aimed to gain strength or fighting skill. All he wanted was to lose weight. But despite all his failed attempts, he never gave up. He delivers a sharp sidekick that seriously damages the beast. We're told Seo had played 16 different sports since elementary school, 7 of them combat sports. Even though he never lost much weight, his effort and natural athleticism, as a goblin now, allowed him to perfectly absorb the skills from all 7 combat sports. Seo lands an upper kick to the beast's face, and Xiaowa looks stunned. "Does that even make sense?" she says. Seo pants and mutters, "But how am I supposed to eat it now?" Xiaowa speaking. "So, that was some kind of martial art, huh? I doubt it had any real power at the start, just a human-created technique, not designed to match a monster's body or strength. It hasn't been long since he got a monster's body, but in a real fight he's using his senses so cleanly. His potential is greater than I expected." Seo asks, "So what should I do now? For now I think I've won, right? And I don't have to eat it like you do to finish things off, do I?" Xiaowa replies, "Of course not. First, you need to truly win, then we'll talk." But then we see that the beast Seo thought he had killed wasn't dead. It suddenly rises and attacks him from behind, biting into his shoulder. Seo is badly injured, panicking as the beast keeps tearing into him. We're told that the greatest fear in humans isn't pain itself, it's loss. The fear that once a body part is severed, it's gone forever, never to return. That fear exists in every living being, and for a 17-year-old boy, that alone is enough to trigger panic. But then, Seo notices something strange. His injuries are healing. The beast attacks again, and Seo regenerates even faster this time. When Seo realizes he can heal, he stops being afraid. His panic disappears. He returns to his fighting stance once again. We're told there are countless differences between humans and monsters, most of them meaningless to count, but the biggest one is body durability and ability. As long as you're not completely dead, as long as your body still functions, nothing else matters. When you accept that fact as common sense, your body's limits fade away. Your unconscious self amplifies its power to protect you, and your physical restrictions break apart. Seo slams his fist into the beast, sending it flying. The punch is incredibly powerful. He says, "My hands feel like they're breaking, but it was worth it. That punch was stronger than before. When I threw it, it felt like I hit a car. Then he adds, but I'm not the only one with regeneration. If I think about what happened just now, it's not crazy to assume it can do it again. Just then, Shialwa steps in and says, that's enough. You landed your hits perfectly. The locations and force were precise. Even if it doesn't die, it won't recover anytime soon. So tell me, how does it feel? For the first time in your life, you didn't lose your senses and you used magic consciously. Seo blinks. I used what? Magic? I didn't do anything. Shialwa explains, magic isn't always flashy. Even if it wasn't high-level magic, there are many ways to use it. Didn't you notice how fast your body regenerated? That's because of magic. You just can't control it yet. And that last punch you threw, it was the result of your magic fusing with your physical ability. When you moved that fast, that's what you felt, right? Seo thinks for a moment. I'm not sure, but it felt like static electricity or something. Shialwa smiles. If you felt something like that, then yes, that's magic. You don't have enough experience to fully recognize it yet, which is why I made you fight this beast, to help you learn. When you fight to survive, through blood and struggle, your instincts awaken and your magic shows itself. Still, I'm a little surprised. I thought it would take you at least 10 days wandering around to understand things. I'll give you a compliment. You're more talented than I thought. Then she says, you should finish this now. You said you're prepared, right? It's probably a pointless question, but tell me, have you ever actually killed someone before? Sao says, no, I haven't killed anyone. Shialwa says, finish it with a single strike. That'll be better for both of you. If you leave it loose, its petal wound could keep causing problems. A monster's belly button is their pressure point, and internal beings like monsters store their magic there, so we must put our magic into one swing. So we learn that if Seo wants to finish it, he has to kill it, and it will be hard. From trying once, to increasing weight, to consuming someone after killing them, any reason or justification. Only a very few people feel the resonance. Now let's see what happens next. Here, Seo finally kills the monster. Seeing this, Shialwa says, you've got something in your hand. Open your hand. He opens it. This is internal cinnabar. I told you about it before. It's also called a magic beat. If you swallow it, the owner's magic becomes yours. So Seo swallows it and says, I swallowed it like you said, but nothing happens right away. That's strange. Then a crow lands on Seo's shoulder and says, actually, when you took it, something must have happened. Ram-pam-pam-tai. Seo sees the crow and panics. What is that? Seo says, why did you suddenly come here? I'm sure you don't need anything from me. The new person says, how disappointing. We're friends. We don't need a reason to meet. The truth is, I came because I have work to do. So you're the half-goblin whose rumor spread. Nice to meet you. My name is Somi. I'm a friend of Shialwa. We used to play together as kids. Seo says, nice to meet you. I'm Choi Seo. Shialwa asks, so tell us the job you came for. Somi says, let me warn you, I'll be a part-time grandpa handler from now on. Shialwa asks, part-time? What's that? Somi says, it means hiring someone for a job. It's what humans say. Ever since you grabbed those 2 diamonds, I came in the grandpa's place to handle everything and give rewards to those who catch them. Shialwa says, I'm fine. Give all the rewards to him. This is the one who knocked them out. He was alone. He's more than qualified. Somi says, I know. I've been watching from the start. It's very impressive. But at this point, believing this is a human, if that keeps going, there'll be something at the festival, like this person becoming your leading competitor. No. Shialwa makes an expression and says, if he steps into the festival, he'll lose the next second. Somi says, I think there's enough potential in him. Seo, I'm going to reward you. It's getting late, so I'll give you a choice. Either go home right now or step forward and become powerful as a monster. Which do you want? We're shown the human world scene where Seo's friend is calling him. He's like, what on earth are you doing, Seo? You didn't come to school and your phone was off. I picked up this unknown number because it might be you. Is something wrong? Seo tells him, nothing happened. I want to say something, but I can't. Here we learn the friend's name is Yushi, and Seo says, Yushi, you know I'm about to ask you a crazy favor. If it feels like too much, don't do it. I only have you. Yushi says, tell me then, what is it? Seo tries to explain, and Yushi replies, "What kind of nonsense are you talking about? Where are you?" Seo tells him, "Well, Yushi, I can't say yet. I have something I can't avoid. My mom will go crazy if I disappear for a month without telling her. Your mom's family runs a traditional martial arts center in Andong. It's just somewhere like that. Tell them I went there for a month to lose weight." Yushi says, "I thought you already knew about that place, but it's not somewhere normal people can get into." Seo says, "I know, but Yushi, I don't have any other choice. That's why I'm asking you." Yushin says, "Okay, but in return, I want to ask you something. You said you can't talk about the reason. Are you doing this because you think I won't believe you? Who knows? Maybe I can help." Seo thinks about telling him, but Solmi tells him to stay quiet and says, "Lying is fine, but telling about our existences is against the rules. I'd be punished with you." Yushi says, "All right, just tell me if anything happens," and hangs up. The scene switches to the monster world where their conversation continues. Seo says, "You're saying I can go back now, but I heard that's only possible if I'm qualified." Solmi says, "Yes, that's true, but I don't say things lightly. If you really want to go back, I can send you to the human world now. Which will you choose?" Seo says, "Fine. If I go back after a month, I'll take whatever test I need to take. If I don't learn things properly, not going home might be worse. After that fight, I'm even more convinced I need power to handle situations like that. I've decided to make my abilities stronger." He's about to say something else when Solmi makes a funny reaction and says, "What you just said was even cooler than I thought, like a main character." Selwa says, "You're enjoying giving Seo choices he didn't even expect. That's something you do." Solmi replies, "We call it a test, to probe someone's personality and mindset. Humans often ask questions like that to get to know each other." Solmi and Selwa continue talking. "Did you finish that book I gave you?" Selwa says, "You mean that useless theory? It was so childish and simple, I only read a few pages." Solmi says, "I made it for you to read. If you want to be human, you at least need to remember MBTIs. Anyway, I'm taking it somewhere for a while." Selwa says, "Do whatever you think is right." Sol transforms into a crow, but this time into a larger, more demonic crow, and says, "I told you I don't say things lightly. I have permission to go to the human world one day every 6 months. The condition is that I'll take responsibility for whatever happens. I can even take an unqualified monster." She tells Selwa, "You can handle that much, right? I'm going." Solmi is granted permission to go to the human world one day every 6 months, and she can bring an unqualified monster with her. So she brings Seo. Back in the human world, Seo says, "Thanks for giving me your phone. You eased my tension a bit. The train ride was helpful. But will you really be okay? You only made one call to your friends. There's still some time, and it would be good if you saw your family once." Seo says, "There's only my mother in my family, and she's away on a business trip. If she were home, she would make a lot of drama. Do you want something to eat? It's a small thing, call it repayment, but I can buy you dinner." Solmi says, "Really? That's nice. There's something I've wanted to try since the first time I came to the human world. Food has been hard for me, so I never got a chance to try home-cooked meals." Seo asks, "What is it?" We see Seo preparing some things and a table full of food. Their conversation resumes. Seo says, "I tried to set the table with whatever was at home. Are you really happy with this?" Solmi says, "Yes, I'm very happy. I've wanted to try home-cooked meals for a long time because so far I've only tried bought food for school." Seo asks, "School?" Solmi says, "Yes, I go to school. You know Hojam-K?" Seo says, "That's really near my school." Solmi says, "I've been going since the start of this year, but I don't have any close friends to visit their homes." Seo thinks to himself, her personality seems like the type who has many friends. Solmi thanks him for the food and says it's really good, completely different from what she buys at restaurants. "I should give you the reward I mentioned." We're shown a scroll, and Solmi explains, the scroll is called monster storage. It's not exactly the same, but it's like a bag and a smartphone that we use. It can show what you need. If you move your finger, it's like scrolling on a phone, and you can put anything in it and take anything out. You can carry items without worrying about weight or size. There are even more advantages to it. If you use it for a while, you'll naturally learn how to handle it. Inside this box, there are several items, and Solmi explains them one by one. In the middle is the monster storage. On the left is the goblin face coin, a currency with very high value in the monster world. The 40 naions you received are a huge amount, so use them wisely. And on the right side is the Goblin Treasure, an item from your clan. It can display unique abilities by consuming monster force. You were supposed to receive Goblin face points for capturing the Shadow Walk, Solmi says, but Grandpa told me to pack this along with it. Looks like Grandpa has high expectations for you. Seo replies, High expectations, huh? These are probably for the festival, to choose the next Monster King. Solmi says, Even though we're not like humans, we monsters have our own reasons for devotion. If a monster from the Korean peninsula became the next king, that would be incredible. Besides, I heard the last great festival was full of regret. Seo says, Yeah, the Korean peninsula's monster almost became the king. Tonmi adds, Yeah, from what I've heard, he fought till the very end. It was an incredibly close match with the current monster king. Seo says, Then that must have been a real shame. Tonmi nods. Yeah, and what's even more interesting, that monster species was the same as yours. He was so powerful that in all of the Korean peninsula's history, no one has ever rivaled him. Seo says quietly, Even hearing all this, it's still strange. I didn't even know I was a monster until yesterday. Honestly, sometimes I wonder what's going on. Every minute I think, if this is just a dream, I hope I wake up soon. Solmi smiles. You've accepted everything surprisingly fast for someone saying that. When I first met you and heard you talk, you left a good impression. No, really. Wanting to aim high isn't bad. When rulers change, laws change, and that's dangerous for humans. That's what you're afraid of, isn't it? If that's true, then become the Monster King yourself and keep the current order steady for the next 666 years. Seo reacts with surprise. Can I ask you something? Solmi says, Of course. It actually feels like I've made a human friend. If you're curious about anything, I'll do my best to answer. Seo says, It's not much, but your monster storage, it's glowing. She looks at it and says, Oh, this? It's an emergency call order. That notice is sent to monsters in the area where an emergency situation has occurred. If an emergency order has been issued in the human world, there's only one reason. Either a monster broke the rules or harmed a human. But that hasn't happened in ages. It's almost impossible that... Before she can finish, Solmi's expression changes completely. She panics and shouts loudly, No way! Seo sitting in his room talking to himself. So this is how I'm supposed to do it. Do I just wear it and walk around, or is it like armor? I'll have to ask her later how to use it. He checks the time. It's almost 10 p.m. Then we see a flashback to earlier when Solmi said, It won't take long. It's 6 p.m. now. We just have to return by 10. I'll go and come back quickly. You just sit tight and wait for me. Seo said, All right. Solmi added, You can talk to me comfortably. We're friends, right? And when I come back, just call me Solmi, okay? Now back in the present, Seo says, It's already past 10. Did something happen? If I'd known, I would have at least taken her number. He looks at his father's photo and says, If I really have goblin blood, then it must be from my father's side. Remembering what Grandpa said, he wonders, Did Father know he was born with goblin blood too? Suddenly, a strong gust of wind blows from outside. Seo says softly, Solmi. Then the scene shifts. We hear someone screaming. A monster is choking a human, about to devour him, but before it can, something slices it in half. The attacker is Solmi. Seriously, how many times do I have to catch you? This is endless. At this rate, I'll run out of benefits. Why are you trembling? Monsters like you don't even feel pain. She finishes off the creature, then turns to the terrified humans and says, Please don't be scared. Your friend will be fine. The wound isn't that deep. The ambulance will be here soon. Don't panic. Just rest. But the injured man looks behind her. There's another monster approaching. Before Solmi can react, it attacks, but it's instantly cut down. A new character appears, saying coldly, Keep your head up. The day rumors spread that you got beaten by something like that, your entire family won't be able to hold their heads high. Solmi looks at him and says, Well, my family's reputation isn't that great anyway, but I know you're on my side, Oppa. He frowns. Who are you calling Oppa? Solmi smiles. If someone's older than me and we're close, then he's Oppa. But if you don't like that, I can just call you by your name. Goyu. He says, there's no option where you call me politely or with manners. Solmi teases, then don't ruin your aura. He sighs. Say whatever you want. Then he uses magic on the humans and says, consider this an unlucky day. A car hit your friend and the driver ran off in a panic. The ambulance will be here soon. Don't panic. Just rest. Solmi looks at him and says, Hypnos, that magic isn't from your family, is it? I heard learning another family's magic is really hard. I even tried learning it from Sholwa and gave up. Does that mean you're a front runner? Goyu ignores her question and says flatly, there were 2 of them here. How many have you caught so far? Goyu asks. Solmi replies, including the one you just killed, 24, and none of them were real monsters. They were all shadow walks controlled by someone else. From what I've seen, they've killed 7 people and injured more than 50. Who could be doing this and why? They must know how serious a crime it is to harm humans. What kind of satisfaction are they getting out of this? Goyu says, you're wrong. It's not for pleasure. It's for profit. Solmi frowns. They're killing humans for some kind of gain? I don't get it. Goyu explains, it actually makes sense. It's not something our generation knows well. Long ago, monsters used to eat humans, not because it was fun, but because it was healthy for them. Human blood and flesh were literally beneficial to monsters. Solmi shakes her head. I can't believe that. I've never even heard of such a thing. Goyu continues, it's an old pact, one that wasn't passed down to our generation. You could become stronger easily by consuming humans. If everyone knew that, do you think the human world would be as peaceful as it is now? You only know about this because you passed the qualification test, something very few young ones like us ever take. Even those who are 500 years old avoid it. Unless they're as crazy as us, it's just a boring, frustrating place with no reason to go or come, unless the law changes. That's how our generation views the human world. But now, with the festival approaching, everyone's desperate to find shortcuts to power. Monsters who know the secret about humans and are willing to take risks. You should know this, especially since you're helping Grandpa. In the past few days, many have destroyed themselves chasing strength. It's not their motivation, it's their mindset. If I were in their place, I wouldn't cause such chaos. Instead of using evil spirits to draw attention, I'd do it myself, quietly, and devour them one by one. Solmi snaps. Then they're pathetic cowards, too scared to attack humans directly. Do they even have the guts to do it themselves? Goyu shrugs. Well, even if they're using evil spirits, if they have the ability to summon 100 of them, maybe they think that's safer. Solmi says, then go tell them something or do something so they stop being so desperate for power. But as she's speaking, something clicks in her mind. Her eyes widen. No, this can't be. Oh, idiot! I'm going first. You clean up here. Got it? She rushes off. The scene shifts. Now we see Seo standing on his balcony muttering, what is this? I swear that gate was closed just a second ago. He looks around confused, and then, suddenly, someone appears behind him. How easy, the stranger says. If I'd known your defenses were this weak, I wouldn't have bothered putting in so much effort. He lunges at Seo, but Seo dodges easily. He's already starting to get used to these situations. He grabs the attacker's arm, channels his goblicium, and hurls the creature far away. Seo breathed out. I thought my heart was going to explode. What the hell was that? The chapter ends there. And that's where this video wraps up too. With it, part 4 is complete. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. Your one subscription gives me the motivation to make the next video.